Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. The ZIIGAAT Crescent. Guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? Anyway, first want to apologize. I said I was gonna try to do 2 reviews a week. I don't think that's gonna be possible. There's a lot that's going on right now, being that it's the holiday season and I'm still like in the sort of early stages of recovery. I get tired really fast. I try to do things to help out. My wife works full time. I'm obviously not working right now, so as I get better, I try to help out more around the house, which I'm happy to do it. I love to do it. I love my son. I love helping getting him ready for school and all that kind of stuff and cooking meals. But the problem is I just get tired and fatigued really quickly, which doesn't leave me a lot of extra energy to do this right now. And it's frustrating because I've got, a queue of sets that I feel are worthy of reviews, worthy of the attention, that I'd love to get out to all of you as soon as I possibly can. But you know what? Now that, the big 11/11 Black Friday stuff is over with, I'm not feeling quite as much pressure to do that. Listen, there's always going to be another sale, okay? That's what we got to tell ourselves, right? Not get all worked up about stuff that's like, oh my god. Like, I had my finger on the button for 2 different sets in the past week or so, like at the end of the cyber sales, now the beginning of the Christmas sale on AliExpress. I was looking at the DN142 from Dunu. I was looking at the new ZIIGAAT Supermix 5, and had my finger like less than an inch above the purchase button, and I stopped. Why did I stop? Well, because A, I want to see if Dunu will send me a set. B, because I spent way too much already this year. C, most importantly, there's always going to be another sale. Like, if you ever feel like, oh my god, something's about to sell out, or the price is about to go up, or stuff like that, what we have learned over the years is that as far as AliExpress is concerned specifically, there's another sale right around the corner. And yeah, maybe it's not $30 off 169, maybe it's only 25 off 169. It's $5. If you're spending 169 plus, that $5 isn't going to impact you enough to make you go, now. So little lesson I learned, or trying to learn. I haven't gotten it down quite yet. Take a deep breath and don't just hit that purchase button, because there's always another sale, right? So anyway, those 2 sets that I mentioned at some point will be reviewed, but as of right now, depending on how often I can get reviews done, which looks like about once a week currently, could get a little bit more often, I'm set through February. And that's like not even including sets that Sforceable is going to send me. So maybe February is a bit. I'm set until February. And so no need to purchase at this point. And still got to work those relationships too. I mean, it's not like the channel's small anymore. I mean, it's small compared to like Mr. Beast, obviously, but in this realm, it's pretty solid. Y'all have been super supportive. I appreciate every single one of you. If you've subscribed, liked, or commented on any of the videos, like, you're helping me. So I really appreciate all of that very, very much. And all the positivity and kind words regarding my recovery from back surgery, which is going to take a while. That's just how it is. So, sorry for the extended intro. I'm going to get this out of the way right away. I am on board with the Crescent. I know that there are some detractors out there, some people that felt like it maybe did not live up to like Docinco or Cinco Trace or some of the other sets from other producers in this price category. I believe that they do at $280. I think they are well worth it. I think they are really good. Okay, so that's just right out the gate. And anybody who disagrees with me, I encourage you to leave some notes in the comments that I can respond to, because honestly, like, I'm almost wondering at this point if there's set variation, if there's QC issues going on, because some of the reactions that people had to these, I don't think we're listening to the same set. Just saying it. So anyway, unboxing. It's nice. ZIIGAAT has sort of upped their game a little bit on the packaging and the accessories. They should, in this price category, absolutely have a decent amount of good accessories to go with the set, and they do this time. So this was where the case came in, and this is where the earphones sat, and this was just a little thing. So basically what I see ZIIGAAT has done, and they probably did it with Pennon's blessing, I'm guessing, is they said, hey, do you mind if we contact your case manufacturer, because we really like them and we want to use them. And they did, because if that's not a Pennon case, I honestly don't know what it is. Where's the Pennon case? It's a mess down here, guys. Sorry. There's the Pennon case for the Fan 3. I got a story to tell on the Fan 3 too, but I'll wait on that. So there you go. Looks like a Pennon case. If it walks like a Pennon case and it talks like a Pennon case, then it is a Pennon case. If it looks like a war crime and it looks like a war crime, it is a war crime. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Only disappointing part of the accessories, again, is the cable, and it is modular, so that's a nice thing. But it is very light and thin, and I just wasn't super impressed with it. Nice, you know, definitely a secure termination, so you can go with your 3.5 or 4.4. They are included. But the wire is thin, and this might be an advantage for some people who don't like thicker cables. I personally do. I don't do a lot of jogging these days, but yeah, it kind of feels like a cable that might come with a less expensive set, like say something under $100. It's nothing. It's nada. You know, it's nada. Nice try. Thanks for making it modular. You know, $280. You gotta have a better cable than that. Honestly, you do. And the ear tips are fine, and you know the case is really nice. Obviously, Pennon. There's 3.5 tucked in there. I went with my. I guess this is my standard testing cable now. It's the ivipQ blue cable that I always use. If I can find the number of that cable, I will link it in the description so y'all can see which one it is. But I love testing with this cable for all of my 2-pin .78 flush connection points, which the ZIIGAAT Crescent is. Flush, absolutely. And the build quality is, as you would assume, a high quality, probably medical grade 3D printed resin in a medium, I would say not large, but medium sized shell, 2 dynamic drivers, 2 balanced armatures, so similar to the Kiwi Ears KE4 and other sets, but that's one that I've listened to and gonna comp with this. And very comfortable, very well made, very comfortable. You can see the Pennon Liqueur orange tips are on there, slightly smaller bore width. You can use the black, you can use Divinous Velvet. You know, they weren't super sensitive to different bore widths on your ear tips, so use whatever ones are the most comfortable for you and give you the best seal and listening experience. These are comfortable, and I do appreciate that because they're also tuned for long listening sessions, so having that physical comfort along with the comfortable tuning makes these guys kind of a daily driver, really just enjoyable, comfortable listen, which I don't know, it matters. It does. Because who wants to have something that sounds great that you can't keep in your ears for more than like 30 minutes before you start to go, ow! Yeah, that sucks. We've all experienced that before. So yeah, nothing but good things to say about the build and the fit and the comfort. You know, other than the cable and the accessories, I'm happy. I think the cable should be upgraded for sure in this price range. Something more like 6N or 7N. Doesn't even have to be super thick. Could be just something like this, which is like probably, you know, maybe it's like a $40-ish cable. It might be 50. Maybe not something this nice, but something nicer than what comes with it for the price point. So, and now that I guess they're owned by Linsoul, which thank you. I can't remember who told me that. One of y'all told me that they're under the Linsoul umbrella along with Kiwi Ears and others, which explains the absolute madness of releases, like the just barrage of releases they've had in the past year and a half or so. Like if they got picked up by Linsoul, then they obviously boosted their production quite a bit. Too many sets, guys, for ZIIGAAT in the past year. Too many. Okay, that's more than anybody could buy. I think that Linsoul is cannibalizing its other brands by doing this, and I think there's some repetition. There's a reason I brought up the KE4 because it's a very close comp, and it's about $80 less than that if it's on sale. However, get the cart ahead of the horse here. The Crescent is a better, more technical set than the KE4. So let's get into sonic impressions and graph while we're at it, and then I can get a little bit more into comps because they comped well with other sets. Not really the Fan 3. I'm taking out of this. Completely different tuning. Not even close to being the same animal. So that one we'll put back in this mess over here. I got to clean up. So as far as tuning goes, you can see by the graph it's literally a W shape. I don't know that I've ever seen a graph that actually looks like a W. I've heard W-shaped tunings before where there's a little bit of extra energy in the mids to complement bass and treble, but this one actually, it looks like a freaking W. So what else are you going to call it? That's what it is. Emphasis on sub bass, good amount of mid bass. Mids have that bump, so they're pretty engaging and pretty forward. And then a reasonable ear gain. I call it reasonable. It's not aggressive. It's not flat. It's a nice ear gain. And then the treble does extend well. It's not. I didn't find it fatiguing in any way. I found it very, very pleasant to listen to. Nice detail retrieval. Good soundstage. Like a nice immersive experience. Maybe not up to the level of like the Hype 4 or my soon to be named and announced and reviewed IM of the year. But it holds its own. It's got a nice amount of treble to it without being fatiguing. So overall, I think the tuning it's a very popular tuning these days. It's a very versatile. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, versatile tuning. So you can listen to a lot of different genres and not have to worry about it being good at one and not so good at the other. This was good across the boards. Everything I listened to, from metal to opera, and everything in between. Like it was a pleasant listen with good technical performance. I think it's absolutely 100% worth the price, and I think that it holds up well to competition. The Hype 4, that's one of my favorites. You guys know I pined for it forever. I finally found it used like new on sale. Sorry about all the air quotes. And it was an easy thing for me to pick up for $235 or whatever it was, and now it's one of my standard bearers. It's one of the things I put other sets up against, and the Crescent held its own. Is it as dynamic? Does it have like the resonance that the Hype 4 has in the bass? Does it have the technical performance and the detail retrieval that the Hype 4 has in the treble? It's not quite there. But considering it's $100 less, and that's regular retail price, $120 less, it damn well held its own against the Hype 4. And yes, it was lovely to listen to Tool with. They were. So that gives them an automatic star, basically, if I can listen to Tool with something and go, yeah, that's good. And also, insofar as let's compare it to the Grit really quick, it's much more polished and smooth than the Grit. The Grit is got an attitude. It just does. It's got a freaking attitude, and I love that about it. That's one of my favorite things. It's unapologetic, just very high energy, gritty listen. With the bone conduction especially. The Crescent goes for smoothness, and that is why I compare it to the other set, which I mentioned, Kiwi Ears, also owned by Linsoul. So this is where we're getting to a little bit of cannibalization, I think, is that the Hype 4 doesn't have the treble energy or the treble like technical performance that the Crescent does. But it's for people who are really treble sensitive and just want a nice smooth ride. It's still one of it's on my list of favorite purchases of 2025, by the way, because I bought it for $100 used on Amazon. That was a great purchase. I mean, just really happy with that one. So I would say that the difference in the price, if you're talking regular retail, so you've got the KE4 at $200 and you've got the Crescent at $280, this is what justifies the difference. And a little bit here too. There's a little bit more dynamics in the bass than the KE4 has. The KE4 is just warm, bassy fun. This is there's a little bit more bass detail and a little bit more dimension. And then you get to the treble, and there's really no comparison, honestly. Like the KE4 just doesn't keep up, and it doesn't have the soundstage that the Crescent does. So, like I said a few minutes ago, absolutely appropriately priced at $280. I think that it comps well with other sets. I think it is better than the Do Cinco. I haven't tried the Cinco Trace, but similar, I guess. I think it is a better set, so I think that the price difference is justified in that case. I think it's only like $30 or $40 more. You're getting what you pay for over the Do Cinco, over the KE4, and it does comp well to the Hype 4. So I don't know what the fuss was about. I don't know what people didn't like about this set. I couldn't find much to complain about, honestly, at all. There was no like unnaturalness in the timbre. There was no like metallic from the BAs. Like less expensive BAs can kind of sound, what's that word I always reach for and I can never find it. It's always on the tip of my tongue. It's not shimmery, it's different. It's like a little bit more hard-edged, but you'll find it with less expensive BAs or lesser quality BAs. You sort of find that sort of unnatural metallic character to them. They get a little hissy and tizzy. This doesn't have that at all. It's very, very smooth and natural in the treble, and very pleasant. So, they did everything right with this set, and for that reason, it gets a highly recommended. Some people didn't like it. That's okay. We are all allowed to have our opinions on this stuff, and it is highly personal and subjective at points. But I will say this. There's nothing wrong with this set. And that's why I'm a little bit concerned that other reviewers might have gotten sets that did have something wrong with them. Because I've heard that before. And it can make a huge difference. Maybe there's a crossover that's screwed up. Maybe there's a BA that's not connected. Maybe there's something wrong. Because honestly, the set that I have that was lent to me very nicely by Sforzable, thank you again, buddy. These gotta come home. I still have the Martillo too. God, I'll get them out this week. I promise. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the set. They're well tuned. They've got good drivers. There's good coherency. They're really fun, pleasant to listen to with good technical performance, and they're $280, and that's what I expect at the price point. There's only one disappointing thing, and that was the cable. And I'm sure Linsoul ZIIGAAT, I'm sure they'll work on that, because this is unacceptable at this price point. I mean, it's not that it's bad, it's not like tangly or anything, it's just super thin. Like, what this is a cable I expect on like a $50 IM. So, if they fix that, then we're all set. As I said, the ZIIGAAT Crescent's getting a highly recommended from me. I'm sure you can find it on sale the next time Ali has a sale, which is right now, but they'll have one again in January, February, March, April, May, June. So I don't feel like it's a must rush out and buy thing, but I will say if you feel like the Hype 4 at $400 is too rich for your blood, this would be a nice alternative for $120 less. So there you go. Anyway, IM of the year, I am planning on getting that review done on Friday. I don't want to make a promise it's going to be done on Friday, but I am planning on it because I've already had it in my ears a lot, and I feel like I'm just about ready to do it. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. For now, be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. See ya.